Hey y'all, how you doing? Make sure my bangs are good. Hey guys, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to the Board Game Garden. Yes, I no longer have crazy long hair. I think I mentioned this at the end of the last video, which was the Breakout Con vlog video, so if you stayed to the end, I mentioned right at the end that I was getting my hair cut off that day. So this is what I decided on. I'm very, very happy with it. Honestly, I was just getting really, really annoyed by the long hair. I probably had the longest hair that I'd had in the past, so it was just very annoying, and it was just getting caught on things. It was falling into food. I'm not the type of person that loves having my hair up every single day, so I was like, you know what, we might as well just chop off the hair. I've been working on growing it out for the past 3 years. Let's change it up. Let's chop it off. So this is what we ended up with. I am happy with it. And yes, you guys probably don't care, but I really like it. Anyways, today you guys can tell by the title that we are doing the first in a little series. I keep on starting series on this channel, and hopefully I will continue to put up more videos in all of these different series, but this is the board game menu series, which huge thank you to this person right here for recommending or telling me about this idea or sharing this idea with me. But basically they said, hey, you should do a video where you have a full course meal of a bunch of different board games, and I thought this was a really good idea. So we are doing 5 courses, and each course is going to be a different board game, and I figured this would be a good way to kind of choose a set of board games to play in a day. There are 5 different board games, and we are doing hors d'oeuvres, appetizer, salad, main course, and dessert. So those are the 5 categories, and I kind of in my head thought of like how that would translate into a board game. So without further ado, if you guys are wanting to see the first 5-course board game meal, then just keep on watching. I will say that I'm gonna be like theming them. So this theme this week is summer themed. So this is a summery 5-course meal of board games. So without further ado, let's get into this meal. I've been cooking it up, and it's time to serve you your board game meal. So starting off our summery meal, we have the first course, which is hors d'oeuvres, which to me, hors d'oeuvres kind of translated to like a quick kind of starter game. Your guests are arriving, so this would be a game that you could play over and over again. So you could play 1 round with the guests, someone else arrives, you can play another round, and it would be a game that you could teach really quickly and have someone jump in quickly. So this one also, I kind of thought like it'd be good to have like a cooperative game, just because those are a little bit more welcoming, and just to start off the night, it'd be nice to have a game where everyone can join in and work together to accomplish or beat the game. So the first course for the summery meal is a new game, and that is Kites, which this is published by Floodgate Games, and this is their most recent release. I don't know if it's been full-on released yet. I don't think it has. I think on the Floodgate website it says coming soon. So I think this is getting released a little bit later this year, but I am so, so excited to have this and to be able to share it with you guys. This is Kites. It was sent to me by Floodgate Games, and this is a cooperative game where you are flying kites. What is more summery than flying kites? Come on. But in this game, you have a bunch of different sand timers. There are, I believe, 6 different colors. 6 different colors, one being a wild, so it is a white sand timer. And basically you all have a hand of 3 cards and then the piles of cards on the table. And on your turn, you are playing one of those cards which has some sort of colored kite on it. It could either have 1 color or 2 colors, and you're playing that card and then flipping that sand timer, and all of the different sand timers kind of go at different times, and it's a little bit chaotic. We played this this past weekend, and it is so much fun. Oh my goodness, it is just hilarious. But you're playing a card, flipping that sand timer and then moving on to the next person. And basically you're trying to get through the entire deck of cards before any of the sand timers like end. So you're trying to quickly play one if there's like a sand timer that's almost ending, so you can flip it over, but you want to pay attention to the sand timers because you don't want to have one that was just recently flipped over and getting not so close to the end, because if you flip it, the sand on the other end is not gonna be much, so you're gonna have to flip it back over even sooner, if that makes sense. But there's also a few different modules where there's like storms coming in and different things. Oh, it's so good. It's so much fun. Again, it's a very welcoming game, very easy to teach, and a really overall fun, cooperative, good starter game. So this is Kites, and that is the hors d'oeuvre. It's designed by Kevin Hamano, and it is illustrated by Beth Sobel. So all the kites in the game are like absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very, very excited to play Kites more. So that is our hors d'oeuvre. Moving on to the appetizers. So when I thought of appetizer, I thought of a little bit of a larger dish, but more of just something to get you more into the meal, if that makes sense. So I wanted a bigger game, but not like your main course. So it's one that, you know, has a little bit more of a thinky component to it, but it's still, you know, light and just getting you into the rest of the meals. So the summary appetizer that I decided on is Santa Monica by AEG. This is such a fantastic card drafting game and tableau building game where you're building out your own Santa Monica pier with cards. On your turn, there are, I believe, 8 cards on the table, and you can only take from the one row, and then once you take from that row, the second one gets pushed down, or the one in that column but in the other row gets pushed down. And you are basically just building a tableau of Santa Monica with different buildings and different things that you have to then move your little meeples. There are 3 different types of meeples. There are your VIP meeples, your tourists, and your locals. And you can move those specific meeples a certain amount of time. And by the end of the game, there are cards that have different spaces that need certain meeples in them to gain points. So you're moving your locals and your tourists and your VIPs to these certain cards in order to score victory points. If there are meeples that are not placed at the end of the game in a certain spot, those are negative points. And just overall, this game is so beautiful. The art is fantastic. I think I featured this in my favorite art video, which if you haven't gone and seen that one, I will have it up here so you guys can go check that out. But yes, Santa Monica I thought was a perfect appetizer. It is a little bit more of a thinky game, but overall it is pretty simple and easy to get into, and kind of is warming people up to get into the larger games. So that is our appetizer. That is Santa Monica. So moving on to the third course, and that is salad, which I'm going to admit I couldn't really kind of think what the salad would be in a board game night. I guess it would be like a palate cleanser or just like a little bit of a lighter meal to then move into the main course. But I also at the same time wanted the salad to kind of be a little bit more ramping up, I guess, from the appetizer to move into the main course. So I still wanted this to be a little bit more difficult than Santa Monica. So you're kind of making that gradual, you know, weight increase up to the main course. But at the same time, I wanted the themes to tie in a little bit, which this is kind of a far reach because I don't think these 2 themes for salad and main course are like incredibly connected, but they both have something to do with ships and water, so we're just gonna go with it, okay? But the summary meal salad course, I chose Fleet the Dice game, which is published by Eagle Griffin Games, and this is an incredible roll and write. It is a little bit more crunchy. Yes, I'm gonna say the word crunchy again. It's officially a word that I'm going to be saying in every video. But it is a pretty crunchy roll and write where you have a bunch of die that you are drafting. You have two different phases. You have the fishing phase and then you have the town phase. There's also an income phase in between, but that doesn't have anything to do with the dice. But you have the fish die that you're rolling and then drafting, and then you are filling in different things on your sheet. There are two different sheets. One is mainly your fishing side and your license side, and the other side is the town phase side. So that is the second phase where you're rolling another set of die that have different town spots, and then you are drafting those, filling in something in the town sheet, and it is a really, really great roll and write. I definitely recommend it. It's a little bit more difficult than some of the easier ones, but it is so good. We taught this to Joy and Caleb, which are friends that aren't super into the board game hobby, and they understood it perfectly. So I feel like this is a simple enough roll and write that most people will be able to get. So I feel like it kind of works into that salad course. It's just a good in between, and I really, really enjoy it. It says it only takes 30 minutes, so, you know, pretty good salad course, and that kind of rolls us into the main course. So this is Fleet the Dice Game, such a fantastic roll and write, definitely recommend. And that is our salad. Moving on to our main course, this is the big boy of the bunch, and this is kind of what I started out with and kind of branched off from there. And our main course is a game that Francis and I really want to play again. Ow, I just hit my chin. But that is Forgotten Waters. This is published by Plaid Hat Games, and it is such an immersive experience. It is a story-based game. It has an app that actually like talks you through the story. It is absolutely fantastic. I love this. You are a crew on a pirate ship, and each of your characters you get to control, and I believe there is a campaign aspect to it. We've only played this once or twice, and it's been a while since we've played it, so like I said, we do want to get it to the table again because it is so much fun and immersive. But you have your character and you're building them up, and you are on your turn placing on different parts. There's like a book that you have, a sheet that has a bunch of different spots that you can go to. You place your character on that spot, and it's kind of like what you're doing on the ship. So you're trying to decide what you want to do on the ship that round. And overall, as a group, you are sailing your ship around another map and exploring different places, but you're still controlling each individual character yourself. So anyways, I'm having a really hard time explaining this. It's a fantastic immersive game. Definitely one that is very unique to anything else that we have in our collection, so I definitely recommend it. But that is Forgotten Waters. That is our main course. It probably takes upwards of like 2 to 3 hours to play, so it is definitely a main course game. And yeah, that is Forgotten Waters. And then lastly, we have our dessert. So when I was thinking about dessert, this is the game that you kind of just play at the end of the night, a really simple one. You're probably a little bit burnt out because you've already played 4 different games, one being a very heavy one that you just finished. So you want the dessert to be just very light, very easy. You don't really have to think too much about it, but just a good, just ending game. And what I thought of is a game that is one of like my comfort games, and that is Sunset Over Water. So again, it has some ties to like water, Fleet the Dice Game, Santa Monica, Forgotten Waters. Kites, I guess we started out the day flying kites before we went into the water or by the water. But Sunset Over Water is published by Pencil First Games, and it is an incredible game. It is just, like I said, one of my comfort games. I love it so much. And you are artists going out and painting photos or painting pictures for people to purchase. So on your turn, you are picking a card that has when you can wake up, how many spaces you can move, and what direction you can move, as well as how many paintings you can paint. And you have this grid of a bunch of different cards with different landscape photos on it, and it has different icons of what that landscape includes, whether that is flowers, a waterfall, a sunset, just different things like that, mountains. And you have different cards that are telling you what people want to purchase. So on your turn, if you are the person that wakes up the earliest, your card will then tell you which direction and how many spaces you can move and how many of those spaces you can take that card to paint that picture. So you're kind of wanting to look at what people are wanting to buy and then kind of determine, you know, what direction you want to move, what one of those paintings you want to take to then sell to those people. So it is such an amazing game. Like I said, it's a comfort game to me, and again, it is illustrated by Beth Sobel, so we got 2 Beth Sobel illustrated games in this little meal here, which, you know, our meals are really pretty today. But yes, that is everything for this video. I thought this was a fun little thing to do. I do want to do more of these in the future with different themes, so let me know, one, if there's any other summer themed games that you felt would have fit better into these categories, you know, hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, salad, main course, and dessert. Obviously, I only wanted to pick ones from our collection, so if there's any other ones that we don't have in our collection that you felt would have been good picks, then let me know down below. And also let me know any other like 5-course meal themes that I should go with. Whether that is, you know, fantasy or travel, nature, just a bunch of different themes that we could do this 5-course meal based off of. So let me know down in the comments. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. Subscribe if you have yet to do so. Join the garden. We'd love to have you here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me and eating this lovely 5-course meal. I love you so much. Remember, you are somebody's reason to smile, and I will see you in the next board game video. Bye, friends.